people here, I hate pennies. Okay? I hate pennies, I hate any coins, I hate notes, anything like that. That was until I met Alison, okay? And then suddenly she described it as, actually, it's an electronic penny. Ah, get it, love it, absolutely fantastic, just what we want. I'm sure everyone's heard of Visa. Usually I find most people don't know what Visa actually does, which is really good, because that means our systems keep working every day, and you don't need to understand what we do. The best description of Visa that I know is what the press always call us. We are that American credit card company, Visa. I love that description because it's absolutely what we are not, okay? In Europe, we're European owned and controlled, absolutely European business, we're not for profit, and by the way, about 80% of our business is debit, not credit. But apart from that, it's a really good description of what Visa is and does. So what we do is put all the infrastructure in place that allow everybody who wants to issue cards and electronic systems compete on our kind of platforms. Now, I have got into trouble before saying that I think we're moving to a cashless society. I'd only been in this job 6 months, and the Daily Mail came to interview me, and the headline the next day, I thought it was a really good interview actually, until I opened the page the next day. The headline was, Ayliffe says no cash by 2012. That is not what Ayliffe actually said. What Ayliffe said was, we want to make the Olympic Games cashless, so that anybody who wanted to go to the Games didn't have to carry any cash around, as Fiona said. Anyway, that got converted into this headline across the Mail. As you can imagine, three of my friends and family read the Mail, unfortunately, so I received a lot of abuse very, very quickly. To the degree of, since he's joined Visa, he seems to have gone absolutely senile and mad. But anyway, cut a long story short, that's what Visa does. We put all the infrastructure in place. In fact, we went one better at the Olympic Games than I was talking to the Mail about. And that's really because of these wonderful kind of devices, the smartphones. And that's what I just really want to touch on this morning. Because, we've heard about some of the difficulties of implementing the electronic pennies. But the trick is to think, as we just mentioned, to think about the times when there's evolving technologies that if you get in and develop it from day one, it's very easy to implement pennies. Now, what we did with the mobile device was we loaded it up with the payment infrastructure on the phone itself. So the Galaxy S3, you could go into the Olympics and you could buy everything using a mobile device. Now, it was my marketing team that came to see me about a couple of months before the Olympics and said that they wanted my help to be able to trial this out. Now, I don't know about any of you, and probably there are some marketing people sat in the room here. I don't know any marketing people that need help at all, at any stage. They always have all the answers and everything else. So I was very suspicious of what this was all about. Clearly what they really meant is we're looking for some non-technology idiot to see whether he can make this new technology work or not, and who better than the CEO of Visa. So they gave me this device, and I can remember the first time I was in the Olympic Park with some customers. They felt a bit peckish, so I said, no trouble, I'll go and get you something. They wanted some fish and chips, which was just outside the main stadium there, and a couple of waters. I was chatting to the young lad who was kind of serving away there. He was a Mancunian, he was an undergraduate, and he said, oh, this is fantastic, the Olympics, I really love it down here. He's okay, he was a good guy, I did check, he wasn't a Manchester United supporter, so he was fine. And he said, it's really great being part of the Olympics, and I've really enjoyed it. And he was serving up these fish and chips, and then he said, right, that's £17.50. So I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to pay with this. And he kind of looked at me, and he looked at this, and he said, no. He said, look, I know they're making these devices slimmer and slimmer, mate. He said, but if you can get it in that slot where the code is, it'll be a miracle. There is no way you can pay by mobile. So I said to him, well, look, it will work, honestly. You just do what you normally do, and I'll show you. So he goes, if you can pay by mobile, he said, I'll give you a few more chips, okay? So I thought, this is really good. 4 years hard work, several £1 million of investment, and it's worth a few more chips. But anyway, I had to go at that stage. I had customers with me, and now he thought I was a senile old git who was kind of now couldn't do anything, just like my marketing team thought as well. So I had to make it work. Fortunately, it did work, and it worked fantastically well. At that point, of course, he changes, totally. Now, he's really interested in me and this mobile device. And he's going, wow, that is just so cool. I want one of these. Where do I get one? And suddenly now I've gone, I said, from being someone who's not interested in at all to a teenager, I am cool because of my mobile phone. I just love that. It never happens to me, you know. And so suddenly you realise the power of mobile and what that can really mean for us, not only as an industry, but I think particularly for Pennies. And if you start looking at what's happening across the globe, people are having more and more of these smartphones. In Europe, there's 250 million today. They reckon that's going to double within the next 4 years. There's 41 million in the UK already. So the device itself will enable a lot of what Pennies are really trying to achieve. And people are using mobile phones to shop now. Thanksgiving weekend, 14% of people bought using a mobile device in the US. Domino's Pizza, which we just saw there, they put an app, so you saw that you could go online and contribute towards Penny. They put an app onto their mobile, and actually their contributions to Pennies have gone up by 18%. We are going to see, and we estimate, by the way, that by 2020, 50% of all our transactions, the Visa transactions, and just to put this into scale, 1 in every £3 that's spent in the UK is spent on a Visa card. 1 in every €7 across Europe is spent on a Visa card. And we estimate that 50% of those transactions will be on a mobile device in the future. So whatever you're thinking of doing, if you really want to get behind this, the time to really think about how best to implement it is when you start building your mobile apps and all the applications around it. This is a fantastic charity. Alison and her team are absolutely brilliant. They've finally got me to a stage where I do believe and I do love Pennies. So please, all embrace it and think about when you get the new technology, how you can implement it from day one, rather than some of the problems that so many people have, and understandably have, in terms of trying to change outdated and old systems. So I wish you all the best, Alison and the team. It's a great initiative. Please get behind it and support it. Thank you.